Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello and welcome along to the SRF Weekend Warriors presented by Race Voices. This week for round 12 of the championship we return to Europe from 2 weeks away in the Americas to the classic British national circuit that is Donington. Donington Park claims a sizable portion of Britain's motor racing heritage, being the country's first true road circuit to be built and the oldest still in current usage. From the classic Grand Prix of the 1930s, the races here on Apex Racing TV. I'm Tim Cox, and as always, I'm joined in the commentary booth by Jonathan Grabowski, who is as always running the cameras, but as well as providing his knowledge and insight. Now, last time out, what a race we had at Daytona. It was absolutely crazy. So many potential clips that we could have taken from it. Wasn't it, John? It was just mental battle, literally right to the line. That's been decided by 100.
Yeah, it was really exciting, Tim. I mean, exciting except for first place. Aeronom was soul crushing. You know, which we were really surprised about considering how drafty of a track Daytona is. But, you know, battles up and down the timing tower as expected, you know, on SRF Weekend Warriors.
It was, unfortunately, after Antonio Race putting in an absolutely amazing qualifying session, I was caught up in the first opening laps, and that's what gave a gap that led on away, and with the assistance of the draft was able to extend his gap, but keep going and to take what was in the end quite a comfortable victory, even by his standards. And my golly, we've seen some great racing from him all season. Now, we've got a message from series organizer Stevie Ray. Unfortunately, he can't be with us today during the race. Apparently take priority, but he just wanted to say thanks to obviously ourselves for our coverage during the season, but also to the sponsor for the series, which is RaceVoice, who've confirmed that they're going to come along for the ride for another season, and also wants to give thanks to all of the warriors who make the league what it is. He also gave a little bit of a tidbit in the sense of, he said there's going to be a couple of possible minor tweaks for next season, but nothing significant. As if it's not broke, don't fix it. As the saying goes. We'll give a quick shout out to our sponsor, RaceVoice, for this series. If you're looking for a simple way to transform complicated performance data into easy to understand notifications and alerts, they have over 16 different notifications, including up and down shift, over rev alerts, corner entry, turn in and exit speeds. It provides immediate feedback on driver and vehicle performance. Now, let's have a little look through the championship standings. You can see Aeronom leading the way, and he's going to take that victory. Nobody even closer. We see a 113-point gap to himself and David Baum in second place, but that's where it gets a little bit interesting. Who's going to get that second place in the championship? Will it be Baum? Will it be Pinero? Well, we'll be able to find out tonight how that's going to pan out. Down into Spec 2. Wow, Evandro Dantas, he's almost been the Aeronom of Spec 2. Quite as much of a gap as Estonian has over the second place, but a 66-point gap between Ben Forster, who's managed to climb up a place ahead of Vandalo, but just look at how close it is. Only 2 points separating those two guys in the battle for second place. Now, heading down to Masters, well, I think how do we describe this guy? Chris Murakami.
It was the Chris Murakami show this season.
Yes, that's a nice, easy way to round it up in one sentence, isn't it, really? He's just grown into this championship. The season's gone on. Flawless performances. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on here tonight in England at Donington. It's second place. That's where it gets a bit more interesting. So Stevie Ray won't improve, obviously, on that 101 points behind Murakami. But Tom Gradwell, it's not far behind. Can he nick that second place from Stevie Ray? Obviously, with no Stevie Ray tonight, it's going to be interesting. A real chance for Gradwell to try and move up through the field.
I don't know if Gradwell's in racing this week. I'm looking up and down our SDK software, Tim, and I'm not sure. Is he?
He is. He's in the pits currently, but he is in the session. I made sure I double-checked on the...
Better eyes than mine, mate. Better eyes than mine.
It's a slight bit of youth on my side there. Probably one few things going for me. But drivers just heading out on their warm-up now. They've got around about 2.5 minutes left of that one. You know, we saw during the qualifying session. We'll be able to bring you up your grid shortly, but well, surprise, surprise. Guess who was out on top? Well, it was Aeronom yet again. Now, today we race Donington National. Now, this has got the chicane before you just, so you turn right, instead of turning left and heading out onto the Grand Prix circuit, where that adds that extra hairpin turn down the bottom. It's always a little bit tricky, so I'm going to see plenty of streaming down the back straight, which they're, as if by magic, actually just heading down there now. It's a bit treacherous, you can see from the camera angle there, just where it dips down. And it's how much you can dare take of those curves. Like clipping those sausage curves, which can really send your car off into the stratosphere. You can end up either in the wall or losing a lot of place where you lack momentum coming off it. As he just comes down into Red Gate now. It's going to be interesting to see how the Chinese driver gets on tonight. We're just part way through the season, returning driver, and he's sort of picked up where he's left off, hasn't he, really, Jonathan? And put in some really good performances and been battling in and around that top group.
compared to last season, I almost feel like Yangshi's raised his game. We saw him last year. We saw him probably, in that 6th, 7th, 8th spot, but came in late to the series and really came in, charged higher than ever. Just really impressive runs. And, you almost feel like he's due for a win sometime soon. If Aeronam makes a mistake or something goes wrong, Yangshi is there to capitalize for sure.
Definitely. And it'd be definitely one to watch out for tonight. As see your Marnie going top there just in the warm-up. Less than 100 separating him and Lynn there, but that obviously doesn't count for too much. Except for maybe a few bragging rights to the Swiss driver. And he's another one who's come on in the last couple of rounds. We saw a great performance from him last time out at Daytona. And he sort of started to pick up and a little bit too late to mount any sort of decent standings within the championship in Spec 1. However, he's definitely been one of the drivers to keep half an eye on to see how he's doing.
Yeah, for sure. Jorg Manny is a guy who's been in the series for a while now and just was really impressive last week at Daytona. It was probably his best race of the season so far.
We'll just mention, as always, if you like what you see and you want to find out more about us, you can do so on social media. On Twitter, we are at Apex Racing TV. Facebook is facebook.com/Apex Racing TV. And of course, Instagram is Apex Racing TV. And we love to hear from you, as always, in the chat. If you drop a message in who you're supporting, love to hear from you. Now we bring up your grid here for the last round at Donington of the main part of the season. So on pole with Marco Pinero with Yang Ji-Lin alongside for company Aeronam, having settled for third. In the second row with David Bob. John Payne, good qualifying from him. He's got Walker alongside the Canadian Jorg Manny. Mentioned him during the warm-up session. He's on the fourth row with Masters driver Antonio Race. For a bit of redemption after last time out at Daytona. Dudu Castro and Tony Bartman round out the top 10 and the fifth row. Then it's on to Aidan Campbell and Fingbonner on the sixth row in 11th. 12th for Vini, highest of Spec 2 drivers, good fellow Spec 2 driver and championship leader Evandro Dantas, the Brazilian alongside for company. Alan McCain has Jim McGill with him. Chris Murakami, maybe down a little bit by his standards in 17th. He's got Adam Bradshaw alongside. It's Tom Gradwell and Ian Gibson rounding out your top 20. Paul Jackson is 21st with Sancinelli. Mitchell has Brewster alongside him in 23rd and 24th. Then it's Bob Kerner and Peter Mirashek with Kent Batley and Kocher. Jeff Cantor and Paolo Brain around out the top 30 with Paolo Brain qualifying quite far down there. Jesus Rodriguez is in 31st and 32nd is Jonathan Mino. So a bit of a Spanish-speaking the final of or Portuguese, depending on what part of either Iberia or South America you're from. As the cars head behind the safety car now.
This is a small grid for a Weekend Warriors series, Tim. For a race.
It is. It caught me short a little bit. So used to having 40-odd drivers at 32, still incredibly healthy field by our standards. It's a bit low, but it's for the last week of the championship. Let's go.
Oh, get bombs on the grass.
Oh, it was.
No, that was Finbacher. I'm sorry.
Like, oh, look at them all spanning out.
Manny, 4, 5 wide.
It's just another every day here in the SRF Weekend Warriors. 4 wide, 5 wide, 3 wide.
Oh, we got trouble in the back.
I think it was Aidan Campbell, I think, one of the spinners there, maybe. Mino, he's been one of the guys who's managed to pick up a load of places.
No.
Coming through the field already. Action and drama. I think Antonio Race was caught up in that. Another opening lap disaster for the Portuguese driver. He's right down at the back of the field, and I think he's even come back to the pits. But right now, out of front, David Baum. Well, he's picked up 3 places. As I think that's Tony Bartman in the background.
Bartman's in trouble.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's on the
carnage everywhere.
Down to the old hairpin there. Let's just see him trying to recover after what was a good qualify by his standards. The Canadian down 5 places, but look what's happening out front. Walker versus Castro. Battling hard here. See him just come round. Roberts now for the first time in that peloton group, but there's a breakaway group out in front as Lynn is just taking the lead. You can probably just see it at the top of your screen right now. He's managed to get past Bomb for first place. That's why Bomb's setting the fastest lap of the race. Yangji Lin, great move into turn 1 at Red Gate with Panero and Aeronom rounding out that top 4 breakaway group. Into the Britain State on that top 10.
Let's try to see what happened here on the start. Take a look at it from...
It's just always... I mean, just look at that. That just summed up the Weekend Warriors to a T. Just that view there.
It was that... Finbar just went wide into the dirt. And then...
There we go. It was the 906 that started that all off, which is Antonio Reyes. Getting caught up there, and I think definitely one of the drivers come off worse from that. See there, Finkbonner and Aiden Campbell also caught up in that. I think Jim McGill, he was another one who suffered.
McGill was involved.
Tom Gradwell as well, down 9 places for him. As we come round.
Look, let's see if we can
for
pull
the
it from Antonio Reyes' feed here.
This will be interesting. Right on.
He got into Dantas. Where's that Castro?
That's Castro. It just got so congested in that midfield that he was just moving alongside a little bit, and there was someone just inside him, and he was unable to move, and I got sandwiched. I think that might have been Finkbonner who was getting squeezed there into Campbell, and it just all ended in a flash for those 3 drivers. You see just Murakami just coming through the field. He's at 5 places. Bartman just behind him. And wow, not just behind him. He's basically bump drafting there through the old hairpin as they come round Starkey's Bridge now. Round Schwanson up to McLean's. Look, it's so tight between those guys. But as always, John Front, we've got the... As you absolutely named it a few rounds ago, and he's so right. That peloton. In the red that starts basically at Yorgmani and pretty much encapsulates, well, at the moment, the rest of the field, basically. Maybe even down, probably maybe as far down as Ian Gibson in 15th, where there's a bit of a gap. But then equally, I suppose.
Yeah, we have our breakaway group up front with our 4 guys, our usual suspects of there, Lynn, Bomb, Panero, and Nom. And then, yeah, as you said, after that, Manny and Castro kind of out there a little bit, but as soon as you get to John Payne, that's where kind of the real fun starts to begin.
Marco Panero seeing the fastest lap for now. Last time around, 1:15.12. A 10th quicker than the next fastest lap, which lies with Young Ji Lin, who's currently leading right now. Let's just bring you an update on that top 10. Well, maybe not quite for now. Let's just check in with this battle and see how they get on as Batley just in the yellow car in the middle there. Trying to... Ooh, they all run wide out of the old hairpin there. And you can see, Sancinelli there. He's getting caught up and actually losing a bit of momentum. He's going to leave a place to Peter Mirashek, who's managed to get up into 22nd. And actually, Sancinelli loses another place. Mitchell just in the background. But now Mirashek, he's not happy with just 1 place. He now nicks another place off Ken Batley.
Oh, Sancinelli!
Wow, he's going at it again, isn't he? It's just, we've got a spinner out in the background there. There he is, it's Sancinelli.
Yeah, Sancinelli, he in the background, you could see him. He started to lose it, so... I'm going to take a look at that in a second. Pull that up.
To see exactly how that unfolded for Sancinelli, but some quick run through your top 10.
Here's Sancinelli.
After the replay, and
looks like he's just kind of drifted it.
So I'm just coming through McLean's now, and he's always got onto the grass there, and that's what he's desperately tried to correct it there. A, save himself, but also prevent collecting anyone else, and he managed to achieve the latter, but not the former. Let's move Sancinelli all the way down to 28th place behind Tom Gradwell, who's caught up in that first lap incident. But let's run you through your top 10 quickly while they're just semi-calmed down right now. Lynn from Bone, Panero and Nom, this breakaway group. Then we've got Castro and Payne, so Marnie and Castro even in the second group just behind these guys. Then Payne, Favini, Dantas and Walker rounding out your top 10. Favini is leading Spec 2 right now. Murakami up to 13th. After maybe a bit of a poor qualifying, he's 17th from him, but he's up to 13th leading Masters right now. You see Aeronom taking the new fastest lap of the first person. Well, briefly Bomb held it, but both those drivers into the 1:14s and the first guys to achieve that so far tonight. But as the fuel burns off, those times will start to tumble, and as per usual, Jonathan, these guys just working together to pull away a little bit, and just, you know, the standard is not normally happens from this top group, where they don't tend to battle too much, just follow one another and wait for someone to blink first.
Yeah, this is the common thing where let's break away from everyone for the start of the race, and you know, then we'll duke it out via pit stops and try to work together. I know Aeronom's talked about the importance of working together. I know, you know, Yang Xinlin and David Baum have talked about as well, that kind of let's work together, break away from everyone, then we can fight it out, you know, as the race progresses for sure.
Like this group currently 3 seconds clear of Jorg, Marnie and Payne, who are battling it out.
Oh, Castro!
Oh, no! I was just wondering what happened to Castro, because he was right in with Marnie, and there is your answer. Into Roberts. He arrives backwards. He's now dropped well down the order. He's still the way, but he's down in 20th. No, he's actually still falling. He recovers the car. It's going to aid Jorg Marnie. Let's take a little look at what happened to Castro.
I think this is a little earlier.
It did seem like he'd lost a few places already. Just down into the old hairpin. He's caught it on the grass and just manages to save it. As John Payne came flying past there and was so close to being collected. But look, he just gets swamped by the group coming through. That is Favini coming past it. And maybe it's not. It's just going from bad to worse for Dudu Castro there.
Yeah, that's strange. I mean, that's not very Dudu-like. I don't know if it's like a connection issue or something happened there, but really.
He's managed to pick it up again as we stay with him.
This is the replay here still. And I think this is where he lost it, right? Yeah, he loses it right.
Was that maybe a little bit of a tap there? I think was that Tony Bartman.
That was Bartman.
He's actually done well to recover and looking incredibly racy right now. You see Favini just making a move, and look, we got another free wide up behind these guys.
Speaking of racing,
there.
Oh, Gibson.
Although Gibson just running really deep there, clearly distracted from what was happening behind him, where they're all free wide. And this little group here between Brewster, Mino and Bradshaw. So we see Mino just getting past Bradshaw there. Mino in the yellow and green liveried car in the middle of this group, and now looking to make his way past Brewster because he can see that Murakami is pulling well away. He's some nearly 4 seconds up the road. I tell you what, Mino is on a flight. We always have one driver every week who makes up a whole ton of places. This week, the Argentinian Jonathan Gaston Mino is the driver, up 19 places so far, up into 13, started right at the back of the grid. And what a race so far from him.
Yeah, Mino's tall in the mail right now.
I mean, Jim Brewster, who's just actually see him there just behind, has lost the place to Bradshaw, into Roberts. It was the closest at 10 place. Actually, Paolo Brame as well. He's up in 20th place. He's gained 10 places as well. There he is. You can see him locked in a little bit of space by himself as he looks to come back through the field, and qualifying well down by his standards. And a driver who's we've had drivers, you know, prove as the season has gone on. Paolo Brame has maybe sort of stalled a little. It'd be interesting to see if he comes back next season, what he can achieve. Expect great things of him, but right out front now, they still as they were with, can you believe it, a quarter race distance already completed here in the UK. It's Lim from Bohm, Panero third, Nom. He is fourth. Jorg Marnie, who's actually, to his credit, he's hauled in a whole load of time, and he's actually catching up with this lead group. You see him just in the background there in the red liveried car, number 25. You see him at the top of your screen. Really starting to catch up onto this group, and that's an absolutely stunning performance from him.
Yeah, it's
because these guys are no slouches, are they at all, Jonathan?
No, I'm curious to see wonder what caused it. I don't know if them just kind of battling it here and there. Nom looks like he's kind of dropped off just a tinge off of this group. Looking at the times, he's been, oh,
there we go. Actually, Lin, I think, gets out onto the grass, and he's going to lose a whole load of places here. So Bomb and Panero have moved through. Nom still remaining in 4th. After doing all that hard work to get past David Bomb. Actually, Lin, that loses. One slight mistake just costs you so dearly in this series. They ripped down to the old hairpin. He didn't look to get it wide. The car's turned in fine. Oh, yeah, he did. He just the tiniest touch of the rear left wheel just onto the grass, sort of spat him out towards the right, and had to throw out the anchors to slow the car down and get it stabilised, and caused him to lose those 2 places.
Yeah, I was here with another series maybe a month or 2 ago, and we had that issue come up multiple times where a guy just got like a hair, too much onto the grass and would cause someone to lose it, spin, get loose. So really, it is a bit of a difficult track, especially when you get to a little bit of the off-track areas, for sure.
It is. It's a really challenging corner, that one. It's downhill, so the car wants to almost understeer, and it's a bit of, rough and on the exit of the corner there. You see Favini right now is in 7th place, and it's so tricky that, you're more off the track than what you realise when you're on that rough. There's like little concrete blocks built into it, which just give you a certain level of grip, but even so, you just see Bradshaw trying to make his way past just to there. I'm sorry to defend from him, but I'll tell you what, Mino, after clearing these guys, he's a man on the mission. He's at 21 places ahead of them. You can see he's really pulled away from them, and just actually looking at his lap times, he's lapping at a similar pace right now to our lead group. It's after qualifying so well, right at the back, you do have to wonder what went wrong for him in qualifying, because this is an epic performance from him right now.
We've talked about the off tracks, things of that nature, guys. We've seen guys who've come in, who struggle sometimes with the qualifying aspect, can't get that really clean lap. I think it was last year, I'm trying to think, Pete Mobrutin was the king of the running in the top 5, but having to come through the field through qualifying. So it is, and these cars are just everyone's so close in these cars as well.
There's not a great deal you can change them in terms of setup. It really is a driver's car, and it's all about your ability. Having to steer it almost on the throttle, and it's a very, almost a little bit of a Marmite car, where, people either love it or hate it. It's a nice phrase that we use in the UK, but just take Panero. He's getting really close, and maybe a little bit too close for comfort, to the back of David Bomb right now.
And as you mentioned earlier, Tim, Jorg Manny's caught up to this group as well. He is right on the back of Aeronom right now.
As you can see, we're going to have a change for the lead as Marco Panero takes charge of the order here at Donington in week 12. Gets himself out on front now. What can he do? You have to wonder maybe whether David Bomb, where Panero was following him so closely, maybe just yielded a little bit and allowed Panero through, where, getting a little bit worried with just how close Panero was following to him, and a bit of a role reversal. But look, here comes Lin. He's now right all over the back of Bomb. And there's literally, you can throw a blanket over these guys, and they're just so close. And you see there, Marnie, look, he's, wow. I don't know if you quite caught that there, Jonathan. Marnie moving the car out to the inside of the track. They're trying to make Aero Nom look in his mirrors and trying his best to distract him and find a way past him. Yogmani is on fire here tonight.
Oh, he's feeling it for sure. He is looking at passing opportunities to get in front of Aero Nom, definitely.
Someone, I've just spotted in the distance, someone coming out of the pit, so they've headed through already quite clearly. Not the car that there is in front of them, that's Jim McGill, but let's just look a bit further down the field. As we come and see Jim Brewster, who's, he's gone early. He's performed the Stevie Ray, as it were, of coming into the pits early, and now Dudu Castro is on all over the back of Bob Kern, and that has got him up into 13th after the earlier on incident. Dudu Castro having to come back through the field. You do have to wonder of how quickly he will be able to dispatch of Bradshaw, who's in front of him in that green, white and orange car. And I think, well, there's your answer. Already down into the hairpin. He's taking it round the outside through the Craner curves. That's a brave man. I'm not as confident as what Castro's feeling right now. That was a great move from him.
Great move by Dudu. Very, very capable driver. You know, we've seen him really battle up at the front. He can climb through the field pretty quickly here.
So let's just run you through your top 10 as we approach half race distance. Panero leads from Bomb Lin, Nom and Marnie making up that front group. John Payne has hold on a minute. Here comes Yangshi Lin.
Hold up.
Wow, just sails past the lead two of Panero and Bomb, and they swap places now as David Bomb says, I'll have a bit of that. Not wanting Lin to get ahead, but just behind these guys, Yogmani, he's now swarming all over the back of Nom, who would imagine, not by his normal standards, would probably be just brushing it off. He's like the Kimi Raikkonen of the SRF Weekend Warriors, unfazed by everything. It's just like, yeah, whatever. Do what you want to do, guys. I'm fine.
I think the Kimi Raikkonen comparison is fantastic. You know, as we've talked with Aero, he's been great about coming on after races, and he's very unfazed. You know, we get him. You know, he could dominate. He could win by a millisecond. Very unfazed. Is the perfect way to describe him.
It is. You see, just at the tail end of this group is Michael Feetbonner, who's just keeping hold of them right now, despite being a lap down and just trying to use these guys to get through the field. Also, saw a big switch from him into Roberts there. That's going to make him drop off the back of this group a little bit. This time around, remain as they are and just happy to sit behind one another for now. But all it takes is a split second for it all to kick off. And they start changing places. Oh, as you could just see running a bit wide there. Foreground allowing him to come through. Quite catch who that was. I think it might have been Roger. No, sorry, just such a Nelly possibly, I think.
I know who it is if I saw the car.
No, so it was Jim McGill. Sorry,
Thank
apologies
you.
about that.
I knew
one.
that's who. Yeah.
I was trying to look up and down the tower, so many drivers that we have in this series, and quite a few similar liveries as well. It's definitely one to test as commentators.
We have a lot of yellow goldish cars, and then we have a couple teammates. You know, we have Finn Bonker and David Ballmer run the same exact livery. I believe Panero. Naselli, who's not with us today, and I forget who else is in that. They run basically the same livery as well, as they're on the same team.
It's definitely one of the more challenging series for us, but these guys still pulling away, and you can see the gap that they've got over the peloton is some 6.7 seconds right now, and they are extending that gap bit by bit. But there you go, you can see Payne and Favini, who are in a little league of their own right now in that battle for 6th place, and I think they're going to be disappointed that they've let Marnie get away from him so much and allow him to catch up onto that lead group and not been able to come along for the ride.
Yeah, it would be a great opportunity for John Payne for sure. We've seen him really fast in qualifying and whatnot, and then during the race we see him get into issues or something else occurs, so it's nice to see him have a complete race, hopefully. Let's hopefully we don't commentate curse him.
Well, definitely. Just to bring you update in the other categories there. So Favini currently leading Spec 2 right now. Murakami is leading Masters. There he is. But I tell you what, look who's just got in front of him. It's Mino. Up inside the top 10 now and a whopping 22 places in the Argentinian. Going from strength to strength here.
What a run. I mean, halfway through and he's already up 22 spots. You know, unbelievable job. Hats off to you.
I mean, some series you don't even get 22 overtakes in the whole field. Nino has managed 22 just by himself inside the opening 20 minutes here. A spectacular job from him as we've got a couple of people in the pit lane. Julio Castro visits pit row. Likewise, Elon McLean, he is in as well. Just having a little look, James Walker, the Canadian, he's the top of all the drivers who have pitted so far. He's in 22nd. So we just watch our lead group here. That's good. Actually, I'll tell you what, Walker is, after all that, he's come out ahead of all of them. He's in 20th place. Just keep one eye on them. There he is on your screen right now with that eye-catching pink and black livery. And it's now right all over the back of Kocha. Of course, Walker caught up in the opening lap incidents and claw his way back through the field. Some alternative pit strategy going on from him. Clearly going long, fueled for the rest of the race. Looking to bring on home as high up as possible.
Guess who just set fastest lap?
Oh, surprise, surprise. That man on your screen there, Aeronom, 1:14.81. However, Panero wasn't far behind him, only 200ths of a second, the 0.83. And I'll tell you what, behind, and then another 500ths of a second to David Baum. So they're trading incredibly similar lap times. All the 1:14.8 between those guys. We've got Dantas, he's into the pits. Now he's probably going to come out as our highest runner.
Yep,
of everyone who's pitted. Let's have a little. I'm just keeping half an eye on the action on screen as well, where he's come out. No, Walker's managed to get past him. There you go.
Oh, Dantas is going to have to go through traffic too.
He is, as you see there, Walker just making a move on Cantor. Two North Americans dueling it out. James Walker makes up another place. He's into 17th. Just behind him, Dantas. He's in 20th. You can just see him maybe come through your screen shortly in the far part of the shots.
Yeah, he's that back blue car you see right there.
And he's going to, I'll tell you what, he's got his work cut out because Kocha and Cantor ahead of him are not exactly any slouches. He just locks it up there. Valtteri Dantas clearly feeling a bit of the pressure here right now to clear these eyes as quick as possible because he can see ahead of him Walker has already cleared them and it's now starting to pull out a bit of a gap.
Yeah, he really needs to get through these guys. He's currently 7th in Spec 2. You know, Favini's way up ahead. I mean, so this is a great opportunity to really jump a bunch of guys in his class.
But wow, just look, Alan McLean, who came in at the same time as him, as Dantas moving around the track. They're going to go 3 wide. Cantor, Dantas, and McCain. McCain, he's going to do the both of them here. McCain, obviously, he's already pitted as well. And Dantas is not going his way right now. Walker's getting away. He's in the attempt to try and get past Kocha. He's lost a place to McCain. He's cleared the both of them, so he's not going too well right now for the Brazilian, and certainly not as he hoped.
No, this is such a critical time for him right now. You know, with he's pitted. I believe everyone else in the class ahead of him hasn't pitted, so he really is gonna get going right now. And speaking of pitting,
and speaking of Masters leader, he's in from 9th place. There he is, Chris Murakami. Be interested to see where he comes out. You would imagine he should come out ahead of Walker. Let's see, Bob Kern with Paul Jackson just behind him. Where is Paulo Brames into the pits as well? He's keeping one eye on Murakami. I know Walker's gone past. Yeah, Walker's gone past Murakami. So Walker is still our highest driver of everyone who's pitted. And Murakami, wow, he had a bit of a longer stop compared to people around him.
Yeah, just
losing
at the times.
Bit of time there, and it's hurting dearly. I mean, he's come well done the order. He's, of drivers that are pitting around him, he's come out just behind Dudu Castro. So he's in 21st right now, Murakami. But ahead of him, he has got that have pitted, as I said, Castro, Dantas, McCain, and Walker. Walker, the highest of everyone who's pitted. He's now up to 15th place and just knocking on the door of that top section of the timing tower. Actually, make that 14th place. There we go. He's dispatched of Mitchell. Just see Castro trying to make a move there ahead. That's got him.
Gasamino's in.
This is going to be interesting, Jonathan. Where is he going to come out? I mean, he's already up so many places. See him enter pit row there, and
well, we know he has the pace. That's one thing.
Oh wow! Yeah, he definitely does. He seems to have that in absolute abundance, and relatively quick time from him. One of the quickest times we've seen so far during the pit stops. We'll keep an eye on where he is going to come out. Wow, he's come out well done the order, hasn't he? Considering where he was. Actually, no, he was battling a little bit around Murakami anyway, wasn't he? He passed Murakami. So he's actually lost a bit of time on his in-lap there. But this whole pit stop time taking some 2 seconds less than Murakami. So, maybe he's overcooked the tyres a little bit and just needs, overheated them. And that's what's caused him to lose a bit of pace as we see John Payne, one of our top runners, come in. David Baum has set a new fastest lap of the race so far. It's all starting to happen here.
Look at this.
I think this is going to play a big part of the story here, especially if they've got two battling cars ahead. That's Ken Batley and Jesus Rodriguez just ahead of him. Yang Ji Lin, he's going to have to go around the outside.
Almost 3 wide.
Easy for him. Breathe in, everyone, because I think they're going to need it to try and shrink the size of those spec racers to squeeze through that gap. As you can see, Rodriguez, he's not making it easy for this lead group to get through. He's giving him the space, but here comes Pinero. He's going to jump Bomb and he's going to box him in as he looks to follow Lin through. And we could see this lead group being broken up as Lin moves into the slipstream.
Oh, Pinero's going for it.
Oh, it's going to be a big send up the inside to take the lead of the race into Roberts, and there's almost contact before them, and Lin bounces across the curb, so he loses places. But Pinero heads in, Lin heads in, Marnie heads in, and Nom and Bohm continue on, and they're now neck and neck between them. It's that lead group. There you go. You see Pinero Nom taking charge, getting ahead of David Bolt for the first time here tonight. That could have been absolute disaster for that lead group. That was proper high-risk moves there.
Yes, that was high risk for sure. And I think the smart move play right there by Pinero, Manny, and Lin was jump into the pits. You saw that you were going to run to a ton of traffic and it wasn't going to help you. Do it now. So let's see what happens. What if Nom and Baum stay out? This will work out in their favor, or jumping into the pits when those guys did is going to be the right call.
Ian Gibson, he's headed to the pits as well. So it's only our top two that are yet to pit. The rest of the field has already pitted. Walker, from that pitting early on, he's made his way up to 8th place. Great result from him. Mino struggled since the pit stops. He's down in 19th. So he's only up 13 places there. Which is still a great day of the races. There we go. Our leaders are in. Now, where are they going to come out? They did have, luckily, due to all that action, a gap between themselves and Rodriguez. He was in 20th. They were coming round to lap. Now, just keep one eye on where this guy is, Marco Pinero. I'll tell you what, Jorg Marni, he's managed to jump Yang Ji Lin in the pit stops as well. Now, they are heading out the pits. Keep one eye on the right-hand side of your screen. Can we see them? No, they've come out in front. Or have they? They're going to be close right up.
They're going to make it.
They have. And I'll tell you what, it's worked to their favour, hasn't it? When they've managed to come out ahead by some 2 seconds. And just where it was all happening, and Rodriguez managed to get away from a little bit, it just allowed that pocket of space for Norman Bohm to really put the hammer down on that in-lap and pick up quite a few places. Well, and especially in terms of time as well.
Yeah, it worked out in their favor because they were all caught up in that traffic there, and then when you saw 3 of them duck in the pits, and it looked like Baum and Nom had some clean air to kind of run and get a quick lap in before they jumped into the pits, so that potentially worked out in their favor.
Just see Paulo Brame just moving up a place ahead of Jesus Rodriguez, but don't discredit Canty. You can see him at the back of this little group trying to find a way past. I don't think he's going to manage to get a move done down into Redgate. As we just see Rodriguez trying to line up and snatch that place back past from Brame, the Italian, but unable to do so and having to settle for 25th place for now. As we just see Lynn making a move there. Talking of Redgate, he's going up the inside of Jorg Marni, who's, well, or is he? Or is he, as they head through to Craners right now? They're going to be side by side with Lynn. Just manages to get ahead. Maybe Marni just yielding a little bit there to stay out of trouble, because he's in for a great race result for today.
Yeah, absolutely. Great run by Jorg Marni. Best we've seen him all season long.
Doesn't I believe as well? This will be his best finish as well season today, if he can hold on even just to that 5th place. As these guys are battling it out once again, all over 24th place. Paulo Brame and Rodriguez, they bang! Well, if the car had doors, they would have banged them. And Brame just managing just to sell the car somehow, but he's lost a whole heap of time from that. And he's probably going to have a slowdown, which is going to mean he's going to lose even more time and drop off the back of Jeff Cantor, who managed to get past him while he was off track.
Great job saving that.
It was all over the place. I don't know how he managed to quite save it. It was I thought he was an absolute goner there, but somehow Paulo Brame lives to fight another day. So we just head back out to the front, and they've managed to stabilise that gap to Panero behind him, who hasn't really managed to catch up, but he'll be praying that Norman Bohm start battling soon. With only 7 minutes left. I don't know where the last 33 minutes of racing have quite gone. Something's happened to, I think something's happened to Lynn and Marni, because Favini has jumped ahead of him, and so has John Payne.
Let's take a look here.
This is going to be fascinating to see. So this is on the run across the start-finish straight down to Redgate. Going to come onto the brakes. Jorg Marni going up the inside. There you get the contact between them. We were just saying how Marni was probably on for his best performance in the season. So you can see where he knows his mistake. What a sporting gesture. Waiting for Yang Ji-Lin to rejoin and not getting a massive amount of time over him, and actually allowing him to come back in front. That's what we like to see. That is a lovely sporting gesture there.
That's one of the things that we've always talked about this series, that it's, good, clean, fair, respectful racing, and perfect example of that right there. Manny, he made a mistake, waited for Lynn to get going again and jump ahead of him.
Talking jumping ahead of him, it's allowed John Payne to get up into 4th place. Favini leading Spec 2 right now. He's up into 5th. Payne sitting pretty with about 1.7 seconds between himself and Favini, keeping one eye on Masters. Murakami, he's back up to pretty much where he was before the pit stops, into 11th place. And leading Masters right now, and looking very lonely out on track with no one really in front of him, no one really behind him there. Let's just check in with McCain and Brewster, who are battling out over 12th, and the guys who on track are behind Murakami, but nowhere close to him right now. And of course, they keep battling more and more as the race starts to close out here. That gap's only going to extend even further.
Here's our battle right here. Aeronam, David Bohm, and Marco Panero not too far away.
He's not been able to. I've just been keeping one eye on the gap, Jonathan, and he's not really been able to make any leadway into that 2-second gap, it's pretty much remained static. It has dropped as low as 1.8, but it's then normally extended back out, which is quite surprising.
Tom Gradwell just spun?
It was...
No, it wasn't Tom Gradwell.
No, I think it was Marco Pinero.
Someone just spun in front of them.
It was one of the... I caught a blue
Paolo
livery.
Bremi,
Just
I
had
believe. Take a look.
Oh, my eye. Let's take a look.
Yeah, it's...
It is, yes. It was Paolo Bremi, wasn't it? So
I believe it was.
It's carrying momentum. There you go. Onto the grass.
There. Oh, tank slapper.
Wow, a big one. And just casually recovers the car there like nothing's happened and heads off again. But I think place your money now as we're inside the last 5 minutes. We've got 3 minutes left. Where is the time going? Is that, I tell you what, just behind. Something's happened to Payne. He's dropped a couple of places. Well, there's Bradshaw and Rodriguez and nearly the lead two getting caught up in that incident. Not having to snub up the anchors and take evasive action to get around these guys. But what it has allowed is Pinero just to close that gap up. It's as close as it's ever been. 1.7 seconds off these guys. And it needs to strike right now. Lind's managed to get past Favini as well. He's up into fourth. It's all happening on these last few laps here at Donington in the last round of the championship. But cannot just round out this with a victory. Marnie's managed to get past Payne as well. That's got him up into 6th place. They'll be knocking on the door of Favini very soon as well. But place your bets now. How is this going to end between these two? Can David Bond find a way past? We haven't got long to find out. There's 2 minutes left. So we're going to have approximately, he's going to say it'd be about another 2 laps after this, isn't it?
I believe it is. And this is going to be such a great battle. These are probably the best 2 drivers all around in the series. You know, from a racing standpoint, from a clean driving standpoint, you know, this is what we came here to see. Two of the best go at it on the final. Excuse me, God, I almost coughed for a second. But the final race of this season.
You see, I'm just able to stabilise that gap right now of 0.3 of a second to David Bohm. What can the German do? You know, with such a short lap here, he needs to find a way just to size up Aeronom. They've got a bit of traffic ahead of them. Tom Gradwell is one of them he's battling out with Jeff Cantor. You see it in the blue car and the yellow car, which you occasionally just see in shot. There you go, you see him coming through now. This is going to be David Bomb's best chance to hope that he can maybe somehow use these guys to box Aeronom in and get the move done as Gradwell just moves to the side there. You can see these guys battling for the lead and allows them to come through. That's why having to drop right off the back of Jeff Cantor. Michael Finkbutner, he's into the pits right now.
White flag.
Here we go. Last lap of the last round of the season. This is what it all comes down to between these 2 titans of the series, Aeronom and David Bohm. As they just clear Cantor there.
Great job, everyone, letting him go.
It is, and I feel like David Bohm, he's just running out of time, and he doesn't seem to have an answer for Aeronom. He's now as close as ever been. He's closed that gap up by 50% down to 0.15 of a second is all there is. We look back from Nom, that's what it looks like. And he needs to just find one edge. You feel like it's gonna come. He's just trying to size him up and line him up, getting the perfect position on the run down to the last corner that is Roberts, that tight hairpin. And they're just going to duel it out into there. But he needs to get a good exit, this David Bohm. Here he comes. Get ready, everyone. We ride on board with the German. And look, he's got the big slingshot out the corner. And he launches his way past Aeronom. And now all he's got to do is just slow the car up in time. Not bounce across the curbs too much. And there you go. At the last chance, David Bohm takes the victory here at Donington Park.
Wow.
Aeronom has to settle for second. Marco Pinero comes across the line in third to round out the podium. What a grandstand finish.
Favini.
Just bounce it across curves. He knows that it's all over. He needs to get that. He's going to have a slowdown. He needs to be careful and get that car slowed right down and scrub that up. Otherwise, he's going to incur a 40-second penalty. That's got to have been very, very close there. As Donington Castro, great recovery drive from him. He's come home 7th place. Dantas 8th, 2nd place in Spec 2. Favini obviously taking the win in Spec 2. We'll just confirm that in case there's any penalties. But Murakami winning Masters yet again. Great drive from him, coming home in 9th. Brewster 2nd in Masters in 10th place. Just see John Payne. He's going to be disappointed with that one. He was in for a great day. Just an incident after running as high as 4th, moving him down the field and bringing home much further down the field than he would have spent him in 15th. Great drive from Mino. He's managed to claw his way back through after a bit of a disaster around the pit stops, where he came in from 9th place and fell down through the order, but he recovered it all the way back up to 13th. Make up 19 places, and the best of the rises only just, I say just, Jim Brewster was up 14 places. You just see our winner for today, David Bohm. Just wait for everyone to complete their laps, and they will begin their traditional demolition derby.
What a move at the end of the race.
He just completely and utterly lined him up, didn't he? And the slingshot he got out of the last corner, Aeronom just had no answer for it. And here we go, just to confirm it all for you, your official race results in week 12. The SRF Weekend Warriors, presented by RaceVoice here from Donington Park in the UK. It's David Bomb taking the victory over Aeronom in the end. The Estonian having to settle for 2nd. Marco Pinero came home 3rd. Yang Lin was 4th. Yogamani, a great finish by him in the end, in this highest in the season so far, to come home 5th. Favini was 6th overall and winner in Spec 2. Donington Castro was 7th. Fandro Dantas 8th and 2nd place in Spec 2. Chris Murakami, winner yet again in Masters. And also inside the top 10 in 9th place, Jim Brewster, 2nd in Masters, and rounding out your top 10, Alan McCain was 11th. James Walker, a great recovery from him. Pitted very early on, and it worked. He came home in 12th. Mino started on the last row and came home 13th. A great drive from him as we set up 19 places. Bob Kern was 3rd in Masters and 14th overall. John Payne 15th. Ian Gibson was 3rd in Spec 2 and 16th overall. 17th for Peter Miracek. Jeff Cantor was 18th. In 19th was Tom Gradwell, Adam Bradshaw 20th. And then we've got Sanginelli and Fink Bonner, Kocher, Jackson, McGill, Mitchell, Batley, Paolo Brown, Jesus Rodriguez and Bartman rounding out your top 30 with Aidan Campbell and Terry Race in the last couple of positions of the Terry Race. I was so unlucky for him once again after another great qualifying, having to retire the car.
He was due. He was due for a big one, Tim.
He was, we were almost sort of willing him on for a bit of redemption after last week and at Daytona. And it just wasn't to be. But I'll tell you what, someone who it was to be. And
hey.
I feel like we need almost a new middle name for this guy with the performance he's put in this, especially in the second half of the season. Another victory here today in Masters. It's that man yet again, Chris Murakami. Congratulations. And 9th overall as well. A good result overall.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, it's in the early laps, it seemed like it all sort of kicked off around the midfield with obviously Antonio Reyes getting caught up with, I think, with Campbell and Bartman early on, which sent all the field pretty much flying and scattering on the exit of Redgate. What was it like from your position, just living in the middle of that?
Yeah, a lot of excitement going on. You just gotta kind of take it easy in there the first lap and kind of push a little bit too, because that's when you gain most cars positions. And so yeah, when you see an accident like that, you just gotta kind of ease off and hope you don't get caught up into it.
our producer Jonathan and our fellow commentator, he's just to show you a beautiful little bit of on-screen footage, and you see right now it happened literally all right in front of you, and it was almost like you were at Moses with parting the seas, as it just seemed to all open up in front of you, and you were able to just slip through all the big accident that was happening in front of you. I bet it was after initial bit of potential new underwear being required, it was a massive relief as you sailed through that and that gap emerged for you.
Yeah, my season's been kind of that way, where there's a lot of stuff going on in front of me, and I happen to just avoid it. I had Alan spun in the last chicane, and right in front of me, same thing, and just it's a little bit of luck and a little bit of easing off and all that.
I think just looking, I know we've got the runoffs next week. However, looking forward to next season, I mean, I'm surely, you know, you've got to come back and trying to retain your Masters title.
What I'd like is that, you know, the Masters is 60s and over, and to get a little few more people in there, I'm going to ask Ray, Steve, but now I think it's Jim. If they could drop that to 50, and the group will pick up on a few more people that are extremely competitive.
So you're asking for some new challenges and someone to take the fight to Chris Mighty Murakami, basically, then?
Oh no, I just feel that you having a few more cars in there, it increases the competition.
Definitely, but even so, having said all that, I'm sure that you're more than happy to take the championship victory.
Oh, totally, yeah, it's great.
No problem at all, but it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, especially so much in the second half of the season with so many victories in Masters to your name. And congratulations on another victory here in round 12 at Donington. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you too.
So Chris Murakami, as I said, winner in Masters, and also finished 9th overall, and a great performance from him. And unfortunately,
a lot of humility right there. A lot of humility right there by Chris. I mean, I don't think he had such a great season. This is probably one of the best seasons we've seen from someone in the Masters class in regards to the dominance. And there's so many fast guys in that group, Tim, as you know. And we talked about Antonio Race. We saw Tom Grabo last year, put on a heck of a show. We've seen Stevie Ray be really good, especially at the start of the season. So don't give yourself some credit, Chris.
Well, exactly. And I mean, you do have to wonder if Antonio Race had a little bit more luck, just how that championship would have shaped up, because he came, so close. I mean, qualifying on the front row last time out of Daytona. Again, another strong qualifying from him today, and he's so unlucky with his opening lap incidents and falling right through the field. And I think it happened as well a little bit earlier in the season at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park as well, I think, from memory. Just so unlucky. And yeah, I tell you what, it's going to be one to definitely watch with those two battling out next season for sure.
Yeah, Antonio, unfortunately, I think wins the Cartoon Anvil award for this season. But we've seen him bounce back.
We have indeed, and what a great season it has been. As we mentioned, we've got the runoff, or as it's known, special Week 13 event in a week's time. Still yet to know where we're going, so that's going to be a nice, interesting one to see, and we're very much looking forward to covering that one. I mean, as always, if this hasn't been enough for you, which I don't know about you, Jonathan, I'm a bit worn out after that one with all the emotions and drama, but we've got IGP Fun coming up on the channel. That's the F3 League Round 12 from the Hungary. They're live in about half an hour's time here on Apex Racing TV. And then at 1 AM GMT, so in about 4 hours' time, you're back in the production booth, aren't you, Jonathan? For,
I get to do double duty again. Double duty for XSLR tonight. Can't wait to watch the 87 NASCARs. Something near and dear to my heart.
Of course, yes, we've got those. That's that.
And then Rickmo Tech tomorrow night.
Yes, that is. I'm losing track of what day of the week it is here. Yes, that's tomorrow night, and also we've on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. GMT. We've got the Apex Racing League GT3 Am Trophy, and that's been an absolute beauty to commentate on. I've been covering that one. It's round 8. We're at Barcelona, and that's one worth tuning in for. And then at 2 a.m. on Wednesday morning GMT, it's the Ray Esports League, round 4 for Road Atlanta, and then ARL NASCAR's. They are at Talladega, the super speedway there. One of the classic ovals. That is on Thursday at 8 p.m. GMT. One definitely to watch out for. It's one of my favourites, up there with Brickyard and of course Bristol. Being my favourite oval tracks. And there you go. And I think, well, John, forgot. I'll give you one word to try and describe what's happened tonight.
Excitement. You're asking me for one word, Tim. It's definitely excitement. We had everything. We had that great 4-car battle, really take off. We saw stuff at the beginning. If you watch, hopefully Chris Murakai watches the replay and watches it in slow motion, especially his in-car from that first lap. It is unbelievable. What was he thinking when Aiden Campbell is in front of him completely sideways? Was it because there was so many pucker moments. And I can't wait for the runoffs next week. For Tim, I know this is new to you. The runoffs are great because you see a lot of the normal names here in the series, but you also see a lot of one-offs, some special names. I know Kane Halliburton, who's been really fantastic in other series across iRacing, raced one time. We saw a few other folks, and it's a blast. So get ready for. It's almost like an all-star showdown.
I mean, to be fair, if it's half as good as what this series normally is, we know already that we're in for an absolute epic night of racing. I mean, all season long, we have seen so many overtakes, so much drama, so much excitement, so many times it go down to the wire, being decided by tenths or hundredths of a second right at the line. And my God, I'm so looking forward to coming back for next season and covering this with yourself. It's going to be another gem to behold. And and as you said, the runoff next week, it's going to be an absolute classic once again. And I just leave to say for myself and Jonathan, thank you very much for tuning in, and it's goodbye.